and I didn't send my brothers to kill him.
You just sent a text to go shoot up his shit, right?
I didn't say shoot him.
You sent a text to go shoot up his shit, right?
Correct.
Tell the jury what the shit is.
When you're angry, you say things. I'm sure everyone in this courtroom has said something when you're... I'm trying to speak. If you want me to answer your question, you have to let me answer your question.
Well, if you were responsive to my question, I wouldn't have to...
All right. Answer the question, please.
Okay. Can you repeat your question?
What up, everybody? Welcome back to Tragic Black. We're taking a tragic look back at the Travis Rudolph case and Dominique Jones, his former girlfriend, and her lack of accountability throughout the entire situation. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this content, and let's get into it.
All right, thank you. Let's bring her in, please. Yes, ma'am.
Good morning. Yes, I apologize to the jury as well as the judge. I know you guys are on a time limit, but something happened with my vehicle.
Have you ever asked Tyler Robinson why he brought his gun there?
He says he carries his gun
The
on.
question is, did you ask him?
No, I never asked him.
You were just going to give an answer. So which is it?
You didn't let me, so you choose.
Ms. Jones, just answer.
Sorry.
Question was,
What was the question?
did you ever ask him?
No.
Okay, next question.
Is the way you talk to me, is that the way you talk to Travis?
How am I talking to you? I feel like I'm being respectful.
Okay.
It really is a demonstration of how you don't want to submit a testimony in court and how you don't want to behave in court. Honestly, for me, I'm not a black woman, but I found this very embarrassing for black women. It speaks a lot to why certain people review some of the typical, stereotypical black female behavior as repulsive. I mean, the attitude, the snarky remarks, the tit for tat, and just the lack of decorum and professionalism in what should be a professional setting is remarkable.
And at some point he became injured, right?
Correct.
And he was cut from playing for the NFL. He lost his contract, basically, right?
Correct.
Okay. And he would spend his days down in Miami rehabbing and training, right?
No, he would spend his days at home playing video games.
And he was taking care of you, basically, financially when you guys were together, was he not?
He was not taking care of me financially at all during our entire relationship.
Okay. How old were you when you guys met?
23.
So in March of 2020, you were 23 years old?
March of 2020. Yes, I was 23.
And you were living with your mom and stepdad and your brother at the time?
Correct.
That was in the apartment in Delray Beach?
Yes.
So you really weren't making a living as a real estate agent, right?
No, but I do have a mom and she's a medical assistant, so.
Okay. And you were living with your mom,
Correct.
right? And you also had some costly cosmetic surgery around that time, right?
If you ratchet and you know it, shake that.
I feel uncomfortable discussing that, so.
During the time you had cosmetic surgery, did you not?
I did have cosmetic surgery.
Okay. And it was during this time that you and Travis were dating that you were actually married to another man, Andre Chinsang. Is that correct?
Legally separated, but correct.
Well, you were still legally married, weren't you?
But people can be married and separated.
Okay.
So we were separated.
Right, but you weren't divorced, let me put it that way.
Correct.
Okay. So if you're not divorced, then you're still legally married. Is that correct?
I thought separated was a thing when it came to marriage. I thought you can either be married, separated, or divorced. But if you want to get technical, like very technical, yes, we were not divorced.
Okay. And while you were dating Travis for this year or so, year and a half, you never told him that you were married to another man, right?
No, I didn't.
And you testified yesterday that you and Travis had a conversation about marriage. Is that right? That's what you told this jury yesterday. That you and Travis, at some point, you had a conversation about marriage. You remember that?
I didn't necessarily say we had a conversation about marriage. We basically were discussing has that came up about a future, and I said things have came up that weren't that serious, but yeah, conversations were had.
About marriage. That was your testimony.
Not specifically about marriage, just about a future between me and him, kids, things, etc., stuff like that.
And the sad thing here is that is believable in today's times. We have to stop talking about kids without being married first. I mean, that should not be a consideration. But unfortunately, people are having children out of wedlock all the time, which again leads to this situation, leads to single motherhood, single fatherhood, and a host of other issues. But that should not have been an
Tell
issue.
this jury today that you did not say yesterday on direct examination that you and Travis had a conversation about marriage. Is that what you're telling this jury?
No, we had a conversation about that. Yes, we did.
Okay. And you had a conversation with a man about marriage, and you're still married to Andre Chisang. Is that correct?
Correct.
So you lied to Travis. You misled him, did you not?
Travis never asked me if I was married.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
So you have to be asked a question in order to get an answer, or to be told the truth? Is that what you're telling this jury?
I'm just telling the jury that the conversation about me being married never came up, so I never spoke on it because I felt like it was not my personal business to speak on.
The level of delusion here is unreal. If you're having a discussion with somebody about future plans to get married or kids, and you feel like your current marriage is not an issue that needs to be brought up, something's wrong with you. I mean, just stop. Just stop.
So what you're telling this jury is that unless somebody asks you a question, a specific question, you don't have to tell them the correct or honest answer. That's what you just told them.
I'm not telling you guys that. I'm telling you guys that in relationships, you have a past. It might not be clean. It might not be the best past that you have, but I decided to leave the past of my relationship behind me. When I started dating Travis, I felt like I didn't need to disclose that because it had nothing to do with what me and Travis had going on.
Damn, Travis. Travis, brother, what were you doing? Why did you see? What did you see in this young lady right here, man? I do not understand it. Please let me know in the comments. I feel like he was just trying to hit something for a little while, but I don't get
You
it.
guys had broken up in April 6th of that year, right? You were basically finished.
I wouldn't say that from the text messages that were shown yesterday.
Well, what about in your mind? Not about the text messages. Isn't it a fact that you guys were pretty much over?
I said I wanted a break, but you know how relationships are.
The relationship has taken a change in course, has it not?
Because I had surgery.
So the only reason you stopped seeing each other for a month was because you had surgery.
Correct. I was at his house every day before I had surgery, and then when I had surgery, I was only able to move so much, and I wasn't really able to drive in a vehicle that much.
You know, you just said that sometimes he would come and pick you up, even though you told
I had to sit a certain way. I had to do things a certain way in order to go places. Yes.
even though you told the jury yesterday that he took care of you for a week, right? While you were recuperating, right? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Yesterday you told the jury that you were concerned because he was in Miami so long and I didn't know where we stood. Remember telling the jury that?
Yes.
So you didn't know where your relationship was at. Isn't that correct?
I didn't know when it came to him being in Miami, but I knew that me and him still had a solid relationship because it was over a year.
Well, why did you say then, I was concerned that he was in Miami so long, I didn't know where we stood? Why did you care that he was down in Miami?
It's not that I cared. It's just that I just had surgery, so I kind of wanted comforting from him and him to be there a little bit more and things like that. So that's more of what it was.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you.
We don't care.
No man is responsible for caring for you after your cosmetic BBL. I mean, it's not like you had a car wreck and had trauma surgery, or you had a transplant, or any type of emergency surgery or something that was truly an issue. You elected to go get a BBL, so you elect to deal with that on your own time. No man should feel responsible for coming back and putting his career on hold to care for you during that time. That's just ridiculous.
You had some concerns because the minute he stepped out of the house when DJ came home, you took it upon yourself to snoop through his phone, right?
I didn't snoop because he gave me the password, so I just want to clarify that.
Oh, hold on. He did not give you the password that day, right?
He gave it to me to let me know I can look through it whenever I wanted to.
Which he should not have done. Travis, I mean, men don't give you a password out. It leads to this 100% of the time.
That he gave you that password months earlier on in the relationship, right? Mm-hmm. Is that a yes?
Yes.
So this is not a situation where you guys are alone in his house. He says, hey, by the way, here's my password. Feel free to go into my phone. I'm going to go step outside. That didn't happen, right?
No.
Okay. So he walks out for a minute, and you could not resist to take his phone, his personal property, go in, put his password, and start snooping around, right?
Yes, because we were in a relationship and he gave me that password.
Okay. So have you snooped around in his phone on prior occasions with his password?
No, because I just had surgery, so I haven't seen him in a while.
Right. So you were snooping around because you were...
I wouldn't use the word snoop.
So Travis gave her the password, disclosed his whole life in his phone to her. She won't even tell him that she's married. Sad.
Overruled.
You were snooping around because you were concerned about him seeing other women down in Miami. Isn't that the bottom line?
The bottom line is he was my boyfriend at the time. I haven't seen him in a month, and I was curious. That's the bottom line.
Okay. You didn't want to lose him, right?
Of course not.
And when Travis said that he found Kyla's body more attractive than yours, you became infuriated. Right?
No.
You didn't?
No.
After the BBL, I'm sure you were pissed.
You weren't upset that he found Kyla more attractive than you?
No.
When you saw the text from Kyla, you told the jury yesterday it was time for me to go. You remember that?
Correct.
Okay. And when you saw the text from Kyla, Travis was still outside, right? He was out with his brother. You were looking through his phone when he was outside.
Correct.
So you waited for Travis to come back into the house to confront him, did you not?
I more so didn't confront him. I just went into the room to grab my things.
So you didn't walk right out the door, did you?
I went to go grab my things, and he seen his phone on the couch, so he kind of put two and two together.
You waited for him to come back in so that you could confront him. Isn't that what's happening?
I didn't confront him. He kind of confronted me about the situation because he seen his phone was open.
You wanted to hurt him, and that's why you stayed in the house, so that you could confront him and then destroy his property, did you not?
No, I wanted to grab my things and I wanted to leave.
Okay. Well, you immediately went off on him, didn't you?
No.
Yesterday you told the jury I was hurt. I was not angry. You remember that?
Yes.
But you were actually very angry, were you not?
I was more so hurt than angry.
But you were also angry, weren't you?
I was more so hurt than angry.
A hurt woman doesn't FaceTime the girl who she thinks that you're quote unquote cheating on her with, even though she's married. If she's just hurt, I mean, that's clear anger.
You also used the word that Travis was acting erratic yesterday. You remember that?
Correct.
Isn't it the fact that you were the one that was actually being erratic?
I would say he started it, and then, yes, I became erratic right after.
And I know this happens a lot in relationships. I'm not clueless, but that's really the most immature thing that we can do as human beings is say, oh, he started it, so I'm going to get on his same level and lose my shit right after the fact. It just should not happen.
So after you saw the text messages from Kayla, you actually had Travis FaceTime her, did you not?
Yes.
Okay. Did you FaceTime her, or did you have Travis FaceTime her?
I just put the phone up and pressed FaceTime.
Okay.
So she didn't see me or anything.
And the reason you did that was so that she could only see Travis and you could evaluate or watch the way that Travis was interacting with her. Did you not?
Correct.
Okay. And so what did you, after you saw that interaction, it was your impression that somehow these two had a relationship, right?
I wouldn't say relationship, but something was going on, yes.
It was more than a friendship, right? Mm-hmm. Is that a yes?
Yes.
And that infuriated you as well, right?
No, I'm not going to use the word infuriated.
You were angry?
More hurt.
And so just on a very basic human level, we tend to move away from pain. We withdraw from pain and we move towards things in anger. Just saying.
So you smashed his iPhone not out of anger, but because you were hurt?
Yes.
Okay. You also picked up the metal trophy on his dresser, and you hit him over the head, did you not?
I did not hit him over the head.
So what did you do with the metal trophy?
If I hit him over the head with a metal trophy, would you...
What you did instead, not if...
I held the metal trophy up because he was standing in front of the door. I was asking him if I could leave. He said no. So I picked it up and I said, let me leave. And he ended up raising his hands up and he said, okay, you can go.
Right? So you never hit him with the trophy, you never threw the trophy at him? None-
Never.
Right?
Not at all.
Okay. You also took his PlayStation and broke it, did you not?
That was far. Are we going in chronological order or no?
I'm asking questions, you're answering them.
Okay.
The question was, regardless of the chronological order, at some point you took his PlayStation and you smashed it, did you not?
Yes, after I was slammed on the ground, I did.
Okay. So you did all these things not out of anger, but you did them because you were hurt, right?
It got to a point where it was angry, but with the questions that you were asking me, was I infuriated about him saying things about Kayla or the other things you were asking me? That was out of hurt, but it did get to an angry point. Yes, it did.
And that's when he was following you outside and he was in your ear telling you that Kayla had a better body than you, right?
It was more than that. It was the bitch word, the fuck you, it was more than just about a female.
Okay. And isn't it true? Let's talk about the B word. You were calling him a broke bitch. You were screaming at him out there on the front lawn, were you not?
After he started calling me one first, yeah, I was.
So you called him a broke bitch. What did you mean by that? That he has no money?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So why was that important? Why the fact that he had no money? Why was that something that was important to you at that point?
It wasn't important to me because I was still dealing with him when he didn't have money.
Okay. But why was that important at that point when you're being
Because he's saying low blows to hurt my feelings, so as a reaction as a human, I'm going to say low blows to hurt his feelings.
So I'm just going to go ahead and say for the record that one of the things that you should look for when you're dating and you're looking at a potential partner is their maturity level. I mean, age can be a factor, but more so how they handle situations, especially difficult ones, or their response to stressful situations. Because clearly, this chick is not ready to be in a relationship with a man, hence her previous divorce at a very young age. So if you guys know what happened with that situation, let me know in the comments. I'm definitely curious to know what happened.
So you were pretty fired up at this point, right?
I wasn't really that fired up, but I was upset and I was reacting to what he was saying to me at that point, yes.
Testified yesterday before this jury that he compared me to other women. You remember that?
Yes.
Okay. So besides Kayla, who else did he compare you to?
It was just, I can't pinpoint names or anything like that. I don't really remember. It was just a lot of different names of who I am, what I am,
Okay.
and things like that.
And that set you off, right?
Didn't set me off. I wanted to go. It was ready. It was time for me to go. It was just getting too heated.
All right. Well, you saying now you wanted to go, but didn't you tell the jury yesterday? Then Travis said, "Get the F out of my house." Do you remember telling the jury that yesterday?
I told the jury that I had to go get my things.
You told the jury, then he said, "Get the F out of my house." That's what you told the jury yesterday.
Okay, he might have said that.
Got him! Got him!
He said that.
He wanted you out. He wasn't blocking you. He wanted you out of the house.
He wanted me to get out after he told me to go in the house to get my things. So I went into the house to grab my personal items that I brought over there.
Right. He didn't want you there anymore. He wanted you out of his house. That's what you told the jury yesterday.
Okay.
He wasn't keeping you confined in there, was he?
He was.
He wasn't falsely imprisoning you yet on the 6th, was he?
He was keeping me confined in the room. That's why I picked up the trophy.
And that's why he told you to get the F out of the house.
You're not in chronological order, so you're saying it.
At some point, he told you to get the F out of his house, did he not?
After he held me in the room and was not allowing me to leave.
He wanted absolutely nothing to do with you. Isn't that the fact?
I wanted absolutely nothing to do with him.
Ladies, if that's truly how you feel at any particular point in time, just go. Don't start breaking things or throwing your fist. Just go.
And isn't true, you told this jury yesterday that Travis said, "I don't like you anymore." You remember that? You remember telling this to the jury yesterday?
He was saying, I don't necessarily remember him saying those exact words, but he was saying a lot of things. Like I said,
Then why'd you tell the jury yesterday? He said, "I don't like you anymore."
he probably did say that. He was saying a lot of hurtful things.
So he did say that, right?
Okay, so yeah.
Right. So he
It's
told
fine.
you to get the F out of his house and he didn't like you anymore, right?
Okay.
Is that true?
Over a million other words, but yes.
Okay, well, I'm asking you about those specific words, not the other million words that he said.
Yes.
So he said a million words?
Not a million, but he said a lot of other
You
things.
just told the jury he said 1,000,000 words. So is that true?
He said a lot of other
I'm
things.
asking you if your
He said a lot of other things.
my question. I'm asking you if your testimony right now that he told you 1,000,000 words, if that's an exaggeration or if that's the truth.
Obviously, he didn't say 1 million words,
That's what you just told them.
but he said a lot of other things to me.
Are there other things you've exaggerated about during your testimony?
Not at all. I've been extremely truthful.
So another lesson here is you have to be extremely deliberate with the words that you use in court. I don't blame it on her age. Young people should know this to a certain extent. She's just an idiot. In my personal opinion. And I know that it's hard to control your emotions, especially when you're giving an hour or multiple hour long testimony, but you have to kind of just stick to whatever you're trying to get across and leave the emotions out of it. I'm not going to get into the whole thing about women versus men and emotional, lability or instability, but that's something that you must keep in mind in court is just be brief, stay to the point, and shut up.
Isn't it true that you were the first person to become physically violent with Travis and not the other way around?
No.
Not at all?
When we were in the house, he was already nudging me to get out.
You were the one that was first physically violent, were you not?
If you can play something or show me something, I can't recall the exact steps of the moments. Okay.
Question. Okay, so you were the first one to become physically violent with Travis, not the other way around. Answer. Correct.
Yes, that's correct.
You remember that?
Yes.
So you were the first one to become physically violent with Travis, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you told us under oath on November 8th of 2021.
Yes.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay, but today you're just saying that's not
I didn't say that. I said I didn't remember. I said if you can show me something to recall in my memory. I just said that.
Yeah, you do remember that you were
Correct.
the one that started being physically violent with him.
Yes, after he started calling me names in my face, running me down, yes. I tried to push him away from me.
And there we have a clear admission of guilt. Please tell me she got charged with domestic violence or some type of assault, battery, or something based on this. This is an admission of guilt in the courtroom. Please, please, please.
And you testified that he was disrespectful yesterday. That's the moral of the story. Is that correct?
Correct.
Isn't the moral of the story is that you sent your brother and his friends to go kill Travis?
No, the moral of the story is him putting his hands on me. That is really the basis of everything.
So we have to disregard that you just admitted in court that you initiated the violence and go ahead and charge him for hitting you or whatever he did to you.
And I didn't send my brothers to kill him.
No, you just sent a text to go shoot up his shit, right?
I didn't say shoot him.
You sent a text to go shoot up his shit, right?
Correct.
Tell the jury what the shit is.
When you're angry, you say things. I'm sure everyone in this courtroom has said something when you're... I'm trying to speak. If you want me to answer your question, you have to let me answer your question.
Well, if you were responsive to my question, I wouldn't have to...
All right. Answer the question, please.
Okay. Can you repeat your question?
Question was shit. What does shit mean in the context of that text?
Anything but him.
Okay. So it could have been his brother.
No.
It could have been the house.
Nothing violent toward a person.
On what planet
His
does
mother's
that
house,
mean that?
right?
I was upset and my adrenaline was running and I said something that I didn't mean. That's the bottom line of that. I didn't mean for my brothers to do any of that. That's why when my brother left the house, he did not have a firearm on him.
And I'm just going to put this back up here to reemphasize it is illegal in Florida to plan or conspire with another person to commit a crime. Prosecutors may file charges even if the underlying crime did not actually occur. So it doesn't really matter. This is kind of hocus pocus talk right here. She should be charged with the crime of sending somebody to shoot Travis shit up.
Question again.
Okay.
You told the jury that shit meant anything other than a person, right? That's what you just told them. You remember that?
Okay. Can I clarify the jury?
Finish my question.
Okay.
Didn't you just tell the jury that shit meant anything other than a person? Yes or no?
I would like to clarify that.
Well, answer yes or no, and then you can clarify. Did you not just tell them that?
I did tell them that, but I want to clarify what I mean.
Okay.
When I said that, I was upset. I was angry, and I said something that I didn't mean. My adrenaline was running. I am clarifying my answer. Am I not?
Go ahead, finish.
So I was upset, and I ended up saying something that I didn't mean. Like, people say things when they're upset that they don't mean all the time. But since the situation has happened, it obviously blew up 20 times more. But I didn't necessarily mean for anything to happen to Travis, his family, his house, or anything. It was like my second home. I would not want anything to happen there.
And keep in mind, this is Travis's mom's house.
On the video we saw, you went back in the house for the purpose of getting your tequila bottle, right?
I was grabbing all my things. I think I still had things on the couch as well.
So she was probably drunk and tripping. That's typical. Drunk and going through a man's phone. It's not a good equation.
One of the things you went back into the house to grab was your tequila bottle, was it not?
Correct.
Bottle that you had bought early that evening.
Correct.
That was your bottle, not Travis's, right?
Correct.
And isn't it a fact that you started hitting him, and we saw that on the video yesterday, that you started hitting him with your fists,
Yes.
okay? And you were slapping him, were you not?
I don't think I slapped him, but I did like throw a punch or two, at him so I can go in there and get my stuff. He wasn't letting me.
Okay, so he was physically holding you and not letting you go in?
He was blocking me from going in. He's telling me to get my things. I'm going in there to get my things. Then he's blocking me saying like, back up.
And he never raised a hand and touched you, did he not?
Yeah, he was raising his hand the whole time, like grabbing me, pushing me back. Yeah, the whole time.
Okay, so did he punch you?
No, he didn't punch me.
Did he slap you?
No, he didn't slap me.
Did he pick up any objects and hit you over the head with them?
No.
So other than standing there, right, he did absolutely nothing else to you?
Just like a physical altercation without punching or slapping or anything like that. Just the grabbing me up and DJ trying to grab him. It was.
And this is the part that's so dangerous for men. You can physically be defending yourself from a woman admittedly throwing punches at you. And because you try to restrain the woman by grabbing her arms or doing something to keep from being assaulted further, it'll be presented or perceived a certain way depending on who the person in judgment of your actions was. So, I mean, the best thing you can do is separate yourself from the situation if at all possible.
Where was he grabbing you? Was he grabbing you by the hair?
Just like by my shoulders, but like by my arms, like trying to get out, things like that.
Even though he's the one that told you to get the F out of his house, right?
No, he told me to go in there and get my stuff.
Because he wanted you out. He wanted you out of there,
And I was leaving with my things that I brought.
including your bottle.
It doesn't matter about the bottle, but I wanted my actual clothes and things that I brought because I used to sleep over there all the time.
If it gets to a point of physicality and violence, just leave. Get your things later when cooler heads can prevail. But the tough part about this situation is Travis is actually at his mother's house. So even though you're trying to separate yourself from a violent situation, you don't necessarily feel the need to leave your mother's house. You feel like the other person should leave. But I mean, it's tough to figure out something in the spur of the moment, but you got to kind of get away from the person that's creating the situation.
That after you left the house, you picked up a brick outside on the lawn?
I picked up a lot of things and I threw a lot of things. I'm not 100% sure about everything, but I was throwing things, yes.
Okay. And you picked up that brick. It was your intent to smash Travis's car window, was it not?
It wasn't my intention. I was just frustrated and angry and I was throwing things.
Sounds like a toddler.
Including the brick, right?
Correct.
Okay. Why'd you want to smash his car window?
Like I said, it wasn't intentional. I was just throwing things because I was upset.
And this is really interesting in retrospect now that we've had the whole brick lady situation, a brick gate. I mean, to me, it's a little bit more violent and concerning to have someone just recklessly, throwing things with reckless abandon versus, a targeted event that didn't even actually happen. So, whereas we have people trying to make black men look bad for not defending a fictitious brick situation, here we have a black woman who actually was throwing bricks around where you have someone's mother. She's not in her own neighborhood and she's damaging property, potentially hurting, anyone else in the area, and trying to make black men look bad after she blew up over an issue she had with her own self-esteem over, a suspected infidelity situation, a man really in Miami training to try to get back in the NFL. And she's upset because she needs a BBL in order to have some level of self-esteem and feel attractive to a man who she really doesn't even deserve to be with. But that's a whole different situation.
And when you were throwing things, you were also screaming things at him, like you were going to send your brother Keyshawn over to kill him, right?
Never, ever, ever said the word kill at all.
Okay, so when you were yelling at him, telling him that you're sending your brother Keyshawn over, it was just to shoot up his shit?
I texted that message. Yes, I did.
When you were screaming and yelling at him while you still were at his house, and telling him that you're sending Keyshawn over, what exactly did you...
I never threatened him. The messages between me and my brother were only between me and my brother. They have never seen those messages, and so everything has came out.
To this day, you're aware that Travis's car window was smashed, right?
Correct.
Did you do it?
Yes.
When did you do it?
Right before I left.
You also, when you left the house, you called your brother Keyshawn. You remember that?
Yes.
Okay, and you were still crying and upset when you called him, right?
Yes.
And then you also called Tyler Robinson when you left Travis's house, did you not?
Yes.
And you were crying and upset at that point as well.
Yes.
And you told both of them that Travis had picked you up and slammed you to the ground, right?
Yes.
And that he had disrespected you.
Yes.
And you also sent a text message to Keyshawn at roughly 9:45 that Travis dropped you to the ground. Do you remember that?
Yep.
And in response to that text message, Keyshawn sent a group text message to you and Tyler Robinson that Travis is a dead man walking. Is that correct?
Yes.
And that's the message that you deleted from your phone, right?
No, I deleted the shoot his shit up message.
And you also deleted the dead man walking message.
Oh, I'm not sure. I don't remember if I did or not.
Wow.
Why
Sustained.
would you delete evidence so that it's not available for the jury to see?
The evidence wasn't deleted for the jury not to see because clearly I'm standing up here right now and I'm admitting that I did delete the messages and
Okay, at this point, we have the admission of multiple crimes under oath. It's not my intention or wish that she gets charged or has to go through prison or jail for what she's saying in court. I mean, I don't wish that upon anybody, but it's just interesting that no charges that I can find were filed. And I also want this to be a learning lesson for those of you out here listening, especially the youth, to know that the things that you're hearing her do or you have seen, if you watch this case as it played out, in real time, there are things that she did that you can't go and repeat and not, face the consequences for.
I'm confessing that I did turn my phone into the police enforcement. It wasn't for the jury not to see. After all these actions have happened, you have to understand how that looks. It looks ridiculous. Beforehand, if nothing like that happened, it would have just been words that were said. People say things when they're mad. Their adrenaline is running all the time. So that is the reason why I deleted them after I came to the conclusion that there was a shooting.
And you were concerned about that. You had a guilty conscience, did you not?
I still have a guilty conscience to this day, and I will say that to the jury, to everybody in here. Of course I do.
And
That was never my intentions for no one to die or for even for him to be sitting over there right now.
just to go shoot it up, whatever the shit was, right?
Like I said, I made a terrible choice of words during that time. I was 23. I was young. I was dumb. I made a very, very bad decision when I said those words, but it was never my intentions.
And again, this is a learning lesson. Youth is no excuse. We as Black people can't afford to anticipate that that's going to be used as a reason why they're not going to charge us, especially if you admit multiple crimes under oath.
You deleted those text messages because you know that they were incriminating, right?
No. I deleted those text messages because it actually happened, and I was confused, and
What actually happened?
Travis shot at them.
Okay.
So I immediately thought in my head, they're going to think this is, I planned something. Like, that's immediately what I thought in my head.
You were worried about you getting arrested and you getting in trouble and setting this whole thing into motion.
No, I was worried about saying the wrong thing and it actually, something coming out of it. That's what I was worried about.
And you deleted it.
Correct. And when I was asked for it, I gave it to them.
Well, after you deleted those text messages before you gave your phone to Detective Vanderland. And the only reason that we have those text messages is because they were found on your brother's phone, on Keyshawn's phone. You knew at the time of this incident that your brother owned a gun, right?
Correct.
And that was a 9mm Glock?
Correct.
This whole case, for her not to be on trial, really sets a terrible precedent for other women to be able to do the same thing and just do it with impunity. I mean, it's really kind of scary for men to know that this can happen. It's sad that men still feel obligated to take their sister's words at face value and then go and shoot up another man's shit, which, I mean, again, this is Travis' mom's house. She knew it was Travis' mom's house. So, I mean, just the level of danger that this put everybody in, including the fact that 39 shots were released into a neighborhood by an AR-15 high-powered rifle. This could have gone way worse. So all parties involved should be on trial. Travis was found not guilty already. So, you know, honestly, that's a miracle. I don't understand, again, why Dominique was not, you know, served with some charges, especially, you know, even if it didn't happen before this case, for her to admit to multiple crimes during the case, it just complicates everything. So, I mean, again, if you guys can help me out with that in the comments, please do.
And you and Keyshawn had a conversation about what had happened, right?
Yes.
And you testified yesterday on direct examination that Keyshawn told me I was overly tripping. It's not serious.
Both of us, not just me.
Who?
Me and Travis, like, we're both overly tripping. It
What
wasn't
does
that serious.
overly tripping mean?
Just meaning in relationships, sometimes things get out of hand for no reason, and an outsider can see better than me and him inside the relationship.
Okay, so you again, you told the jury that Keyshawn told you that, right?
Correct.
So your brother is telling you basically that this wasn't that serious, right?
And yeah, he was going to just go over there and speak with him. Correct.
My question was that he told you that this wasn't serious, right?
I said yes.
So you didn't have any bruises or scratches on your face, right?
No, but I did have injury.
You didn't have any bruises or scratches to your arm, did you?
No.
You didn't have any bruises or scratches on your neck, right?
No, but I did just have.
Any bruises or scratches on your back, right?
No.
So she's obviously trying to work in the BBL here in some form or fashion, but nobody cares.
You testified that you were the one that told Keyshawn to go talk to him, right?
Correct.
So it wasn't Keyshawn saying, I'm going to go be your protector and take care of this. You're the one that encouraged him to go do that, right?
No. When I told him what happened, he instantly is like, I'm going to go holler at, I'm going to go talk to Travis.
You just told this jury that it was you who told him to go talk to him. That's what you told this jury yesterday. That's what you just answered, and now you're changing your answer. So which?
I'm not changing my answer at all. Me and him had a mutual conversation, and the mutual conversation was, I told him what happened. He said he was going to go speak with them, and I agreed.
Yesterday you told this jury that you're the one that told him to go talk to Travis.
Like I said, it was a mutual. I told him to go talk to them, and he said he was going to already on his own.
After you told him to go do it, right? That's what you told this jury yesterday. You didn't tell Detective Ema at 2:45 that morning, while you were giving your sworn statement under oath, subject to perjury, that you told Keyshawn to go shoot up his shit, right?
I don't remember the exact. That was the very, very first statement I ever gave in. I don't remember exactly what I said.
You never told him about the text message to go shoot up his shit, did you?
I don't recall.
Did you ever tell Detective Ema that Keyshawn texted you and Tyler back that Travis was a dead man walking? Do you remember ever telling him that?
I don't recall.
Isn't it true that you didn't?
I don't recall.
Did you tell Detective Ema that you told Linda there was going to be trouble? Do you remember making that?
I don't remember. Someone's dead. I'm not really worried about what text I sent or what text someone else sent. When it came time for us to speak on that, I spoke on that. And I was 100% honest about everything that I had said. But during the time where I'm just finding out somebody who's very close to me has passed away, that's the least thing on my mind at the moment. I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
Detective Ema was asking you very specific questions, right?
Not necessarily.
Were you just rambling and just going freestyle?
I was kind of rambling and just saying from what I know, like, has happened from the night.
You remember telling Detective Ema, my brothers, plural, never going to come down here on some harmful anything. Do you remember telling him that?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember telling him about your liquor bottle?
Yes, I told him I threw the liquor bottle.
Okay. And do you remember telling Detective Ema that Travis was in your face talking shit
Yes.
and you were slapping him?
I don't remember that part, but I might have said that.
Okay.
But it did get kind of like very physical at that point.
Okay. And do you then remember telling Detective Ema that you left and went home and told your brother you got to go see about me to Travis? Remember telling Detective Ema that?
Kind of a blur, but I did say to go talk to him, yes.
That you told your brother to go talk to him, right?
Correct.
That's what you told Detective Ema.
That's what, yeah, if that's what that says, yes. I don't remember vividly exactly every single word I said, but if that's what I said there, then yes. You can show it to me if you want.
You may.
That's exactly what it says here. But do I remember, your question was, do I remember correct?
Right.
No, I don't. I don't remember our exact, that was my very, very first talk with anyone.
Is it in fact true that you told Detective Ema that?
Your question was, do I remember?
I'm asking you, isn't it true that you told Detective Ema that?
I don't remember saying this. I'm going to be honest. I remember telling him that I told him to go talk to him, which is on the page previous to this.
Okay. Well, you're not disagreeing that you gave a sworn statement to
I'm not disagreeing at all. I just don't remember. You asked me if I remembered. I said no.
Okay. But you're not suggesting that what's in there is not correct, right?
No.
I honestly hope she goes back and watches this for herself to witness her tomfoolery. I doubt she will even understand or acknowledge how foolish she looked in this testimony. But for those of us who are able to pick up, have a little bit of wisdom, clearly she's like not doing a great job of representing herself well.
My brother is licensed to carry. Do you remember that?
I probably did tell him that.
So that was an important fact to tell him, right?
Just for the simple fact that I found out there was a shooting, yes. I believed I needed to leave.
Why would that be important if your brother didn't have a gun? Why did you want Detective Ema to know that Keyshawn had a concealed weapons permit?
I wanted him to know because there was a shooting.
Right, because your brother took his gun with him. And that's why you wanted
Show me where my brother took his gun with him. Show it to me.
questions.
But you're telling me something that you're asking me a question. I'm letting you know my answer. So if you don't have proof right in front of my face, then you can't sit here and tell me anything. I'm telling you.
Okay, enough. Next question.
Exactly. Next question.
So once again, the true colors come out, and you can only imagine if she behaves this way in the courtroom, how was she behaving with Travis? I'm surprised the relationship made it a year long. I'm surprised she had a marriage that actually came to fruition, but clearly that didn't last long either. It's just amazing.
Stop. Your next question, please.
Is this how you talk to Travis?
Stop.
This is how I'm talking to you.
Next question.
I said, you're initiating the fight. You're jumping on my brother. He came there to have a conversation with you. He doesn't. It's not like he came there with his gun because I knew he didn't have a gun. That's why I said that.
And all rational adults know 4 people don't show up at your house at midnight to have a discussion. Honestly, the discussion could have been had over the phone and could have been had via FaceTime, text message, or the following day. But when you bring a group of 3 basically goons to somebody's house to have a discussion, it's going to be more than a discussion. Let's be real. And to be frank, I mean, one of the gentlemen had already taken his shirt off before Travis even came outside. Travis put his gun down before he even came outside. So he was willing to engage in good faith and have a discussion. But honestly, I mean, again, all rational adults know that was not about to end up being a discussion.
So So again, the only text message you showed Detective Ema in your sworn statement was one text message from Tierney Coleman. Is that correct?
Correct.
And the reason you did that was you were trying to portray.
No, the
Hold on,
reason.
let me finish my question.
Is it a question or is it an assumption?
All right, just wait for the question, please, Ms. Jones.
My question is, that's the only text you showed to the detective, right?
Yes.
Already answered that one.
Thank you.
Next question.
You never showed him a text from that you sent about shoot his shit up or Travis is a dead man walking, right?
Not until the next day when I was asked, or whenever day I was asked.
Well, I'm talking about Detective Ema now.
Correct. Right after, exactly. Right after everything has occurred. You have to understand, I'm not in the right state of mind either. I'm just finding out someone passed away. I'm finding out my mom's car shot up. I'm finding out a lot of things at this moment. A lot of details are going to be left out.
And this again speaks to the crazy nature of this case. In my wildest dreams, I'm not pulling up on anybody to shoot anything up in my mom's car. I mean, I'm not about to go handle any type of work, especially to be on what they call demon time in my mom's car for it to get shot up 39 times. That's just totally ridiculous.
Yes, I spoke with both of them. And
Okay, and can you tell us where Miss Coleman's number is on your call log that you turned into the police?
when I was asked, it's not there.
It's not there. That's all I asked. It's not on there.
Okay.
So, did you delete those?
No. When I asked to turn my phone in, I turned my phone in.
So, how did these numbers disappear from your call log?
Why don't you go ask the police officers or the detectives?
Your phone. I'm asking you if you deleted those.
I didn't, and I answered your question.
So you didn't delete them.
I didn't delete those phone calls between Tierney, and I didn't delete those phone calls between his mother. You would have to ask law enforcement.
Did you turn a different phone over to the Detective Vanderlyn?
What different phone do I have?
My question to you is, did you turn the phone over that was your phone that you were using on April 6th to Detective Vanderlyn, or did you go out and buy another phone and give her that phone?
You have your evidence all mixed up. I had that phone prior when I was talking to Travis. So the phone that I turned in, you're asking me a question, I'm answering.
So it was the same phone?
It was the exact same phone.
So can you tell us how they're the items missing from the call log?
That would have to be taken up with law enforcement.
You have no idea.
When I turned my phone in, everything that was in my phone and things that weren't there, I spoke on.
Okay. Didn't you say that you turned your phone over to the detective the next day?
When the detective asked me to turn my phone in, that's when I turned it in. I don't know the exact day.
And then you turned your phone in the following day after you signed that, and you sent your friend Paloma to do that, right?
Correct.
You didn't turn your phone over to the detective directly. You sent a friend.
Correct.
And the reason you did that was you didn't want to be interviewed by the detective. Isn't that true?
No, I was already previously interviewed by her.
By Detective Ema. We've talked about that.
Exactly.
But the phone was being turned over to the lead detective in the case, Detective Vanderlyn. Isn't that not correct?
Correct.
And you never went to see Detective Vanderlyn. You sent your friend instead, right? Right?
My friend turned the phone in.
Yeah, you said yes.
You asked me this already, and I've answered. Yes, my friend turned the phone in.
Right, and you told the jury yesterday the reason you had your friend do it is because she lived closer
Correct.
to the detective than you did, right?
Correct.
You lived in Delray at the time?
Correct.
Detectives in West Palm Beach, right?
Correct.
It's about a 20-minute car ride? Mm-hmm. Is that a yes?
Yes.
You have a car, right? You had a car back then. Mm-hmm. Is that a yes?
Yes.
You couldn't drive 20 minutes to drop your phone off to the detective?
It wasn't 20 minutes from my house, though.
How many minutes was it?
About 40.
From Delray to West Palm?
She was somewhere further. It was far from my house. It was traffic time. So I just gave it to my friend the night before, and she just turned it in after work.
Okay.
That's all it was.
So it's your testimony that the detective told you that you had to come during a specific time that was traffic time? Is that your testimony?
She didn't say I had to come a specific time. I came when I gave my phone when I was ready to give it to her.
You could have gone any time. There wasn't a specific time set during traffic time, right?
What's the question?
That's my question. Don't you understand?
No.
Okay. You could have dropped that phone off any time. The detective didn't say you had to come during a specific time. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I'm not going to speculate as to why she felt like that was cool to do. It personally never would have crossed my mind that I'm going to send my friend to turn my phone into the police. I know younger generations have this attachment to their phone and they don't really want to let it go, but she clearly could have gone the night before when she handed it off to her friend. You know, I mean, if it's 40 minutes, it's 40 minutes. Take it the night before, and then there's no question about this in court. There's no appearance that you're trying to dodge some type of further questioning, and you don't look like a complete idiot. I mean, honestly, that was a bad move as a friend. I mean, she's clearly not a good friend. She's not a good sister. She got her brother's friend, which is probably her friend or acquaintance as well, killed because she was emotional about a guy who she was dating, but was also married to someone else at the same time. So not surprising, but it's amazing how she behaved throughout this whole situation.
Remember, you said on direct examination, I didn't know anybody went with Keyshawn to Travis's house. You remember that?
I said that yesterday.
You sure did. Do you remember that?
Tyler, I knew went. That's it.
You said yesterday, I didn't know anyone went with Keyshawn. Do you remember telling the jury that? You testified yesterday that you didn't learn about all this until you were speaking with DJ. You remember that? That's what you told this jury.
I'm confused.
Okay, well, let's try to unconfuse you.
Let's start over.
Hold on. All right, go ahead.
But prior to this, you have to remember me, Keyshawn, and Tyler were in a group chat. Remember? You said that out of your own mouth.
You also just testified that there was a FaceTime. You told Detective Ema details about your brothers going there. Don't you remember you just testified about that?
She's chronologically way out of order.
All right,
She's just like chatting right now.
start over again.
You are. Like, I don't even
All
understand
right,
where
stop,
you're at.
Ms. Jones.
This is again embarrassing. I'm not gonna pretend like she's an outlier. A lot of people in the black community do this. We run our mouth too much and we just get too back and forth and tit for tat with people, especially in a professional setting. And it's not cool. It's not cute, and it's not effective.
All right, next question. Start over again so we can get this cleared up and move on.
Your Honor, though, can I say something?
No, stop.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You knew well before you spoke to DJ in those text messages that your brother and his friends went over to Travis's house, right?
No.
You said yesterday that you began to understand who came to the Rudolph residence after and you spoke with DJ, or during the time you were speaking with DJ. You remember that?
No.
And I'm just going to add this to my previous point. It hits different when you are able to use a little bit of decorum and just be able to say, yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Even though you're in a position of contention or you're going back and forth with somebody, being able to just stay professional, it hits way different. And I think black people really need to kind of figure that out.
Do you remember at 12:58 after the shooting that you sent a group text to Keyshawn, Sebastian, and Tyler? Call.
No.
Okay. You knew before you spoke to Daryl DJ that group of men were together and that they were at Travis's house, did you not?
I knew Keyshawn and Tyler were together. I didn't know Sebastian was there.
And you're not just trying to distance yourself, right?
Distance myself from what?
Well, you didn't want anyone to know that you were communicating with them because you didn't want to get in trouble.
Get in trouble for what?
Well, you could have been in trouble for setting this whole thing up and setting this in motion. Weren't you concerned?
Setting what up? Your client shot 84 rounds. There was no shots back. What did I set up?
Well, you sent somebody to go shoot him, didn't you?
Did he get shot?
You sent somebody to shoot him, did you not?
Did he get shot?
All right, Ms. Jones, you had to answer the questions, not ask them. All right, next question.
And again, the true colors show. There's an obvious lack of accountability and an obvious lack of remorse. I mean, she, in fact, did set this whole thing up. She set the whole play in motion. And just because it didn't turn out the way she intended it to, now she feels like she's not to blame.
Okay, so what was the question?
Do you remember Tyler calling you at 10:24 p.m. on April 6th?
Well, do you remember or do you not?
I'm looking through the...
Okay, but The question is, do you remember now without
The
looking
question is,
through
I have to
everything?
look first.
All right, so you don't remember, is that
I
right?
have to look to see exactly the time. It shows you more than just somebody calling you.
All right, well, if the
Source,
lawyers are all
it
right
shows
with
you
that,
the-
I'm all right with it.
And again, I mean, she obviously doesn't understand how embarrassing this is, but it truly is embarrassing, not just for her, but for a lot of us in this community. I mean, it looks a lot worse when you think you're smarter than everybody, but you're actually dumber than everybody, and it's so blatantly obvious. And the judge, I mean, laughably so, could not hold back a chuckle. It just shows you how the level of contempt that a lot of people have for certain black people when they behave like this. Even I think a lot of black people do. I do. When we behave like this, it's embarrassing.
Okay, I don't remember. I'm not even
Do
gonna get into
you
that.
see?
I don't remember.
My question is, do you see?
No.
You don't even know my question, so how are you answering no?
Do I see the conversation of Tyler calling me? No.
Not a conversation, a call on your phone log,
No, I don't see it.
okay? Do you remember at 10:52 Tyler calling you?
No.
Do you know if that's on your call log?
Who?
That call. Do you see a call on your call log at 10:52 from Tyler?
No.
Well, do you see anything in there that reflects Tyler? You had Tyler's name in his phone as what? In your phone? What was he in your phone as? Tell the jury, please.
I don't even see it. I think.
So
he was-
how did you have him as your contact? What was his name in your phone?
Didn't you just hear me say I don't see it?
No, I'm asking you how you saved his name in your phone. What was his?
I don't remember. It might have been Ty, but I don't see it here.
You're still in touch with him, right? So you don't know how you put him in your phone?
Now, I know as children grow older, they're free, they have free will to behave however they want to behave. They make their own quote unquote adult decisions. But seeing this behavior really makes me question, what is her mother like? What behavior was modeled in front of her that gave her this type of attitude? Did Travis meet her mother? Were there any red flags that could have told him this is basically what you're signing up for, a woman with a whole lot of attitude and not a whole lot of attractiveness? I mean, it's clearly not cute. She's clearly not all that cute, but I mean, to each his own. But also, did anybody brief her on how to conduct herself in court? She should feel some obligation to conduct herself professionally with the understanding that there's a potential she could be charged. But clearly, I mean, she had no thought in the back of her mind that, hey, maybe I should behave myself so that I don't put myself out there in a situation where I could end up in cuffs. It's amazing.
Amazing.
You researched on your cell phone stand your ground law, is that correct?
Correct.
And that was at 6:41 in the morning, right?
Yes, after everything happened.
At 6:41 in the morning, you also searched stand your ground law in Florida, is that correct?
Correct.
4/7 at 9:01, you searched death penalty in Florida, is that correct?
Correct.
On 4/8 of 2021, you searched accessory to murder, is that correct?
Correct.
And this is another point I want to make, very clear throughout most of the videos in my channel. This will come back again and again, just because it is the reality that we're all starting to have to learn, and unfortunately being forced to learn. Your digital footprint now picks up everything, whether it be video cameras from the gas station across the street, or your Google history, your YouTube history. Everything is accessible to law enforcement at this point. So it just pays to not commit crimes at all. There's nothing you're going to get away with, as we can see in this case. I mean, they got the Ring camera footage, they got her Google history, and so much more. I mean, I honestly didn't watch the entire case, so I can't comment on everything that was found, but just goes to show there's no way to get away with crime anymore at this point in the world, period.
Why were you interested in that?
I'm searching on my phone like normal people do when they get into uncomfortable situations.
Well, when you searched up that term, accessory to murder, what did you learn?
I didn't really learn that much.
Okay.
I wasn't really looking too hard into it. I I've never been in a situation like this, so I just was looking, literally.
What does that mean, accessory to murder?
I don't know. You're the lawyer. You tell me.
No, you're the one that said you wanted to go to law school, right?
I'm a realtor.
Do you have a college degree?
No, I have a real estate license.
Okay. So,
And why does that matter?
Wow. I mean, baby, it really does matter because you're not demonstrating that you have any level of formal education. Not to mention, I mean, do you not understand that you're incriminating yourself by Googling these things? And again, guys, for her not to be on trial for, accessory to murder when she within herself knew that was a possibility. I mean, it's truly the reality.
On April 8th of 2021 at 10:59, you searched up self-defense in Florida. Is that correct?
Correct.
And then on April 8th at 10:59, you searched self-defense, correct?
Correct.
And then on April 13th at 10:39, you searched Mark Shiner, attorney, net worth. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Why were you looking at Mr. Shiner's net worth?
Because I just knew Travis's financials, and I knew he couldn't afford, so I was just curious.
Okay, but what does Mr. Shiner's net worth have to do with Travis affording a lawyer?
Because I heard he hired him, so I was curious. I heard he was hired, so I was curious.
Okay.
Hence the question about college education. What does one have to do with the other? Why does the lawyer's net worth to you mean that Travis can't afford him? It's just ghetto logic. I don't get it. I really don't.
I'm allowed to search anything on my phone. It's not illegal.
Okay. On April 13th at 10:51, you searched best prosecuting attorney, Palm. You remember that? Palm Beach.
Okay.
You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Then you searched on April 13th.
You have to remember now at this point, a lot of these aren't just my searches. People are asking me questions, and I'm using my phone to find certain things. The beginning ones, okay, yes, these definitely were me, but
These are other people using your phone now?
they're not using my phone. That we're having conversations, and I'm typing it into my phone. It's not just me sitting there typing all this every single day.
You're having discussions with your friends about self-defense in Florida, right?
Not necessarily about self-defense, about the entire situation.
Well, you just said that some of these things weren't necessarily you. Your friends were talking to you, and you were...
We're just having an open, when you have an open discussion and you might yourself just type something in your phone. No one's telling me to type anything. No one's forcing me to. And I'm just having open discussions with people, and I'm typing it in on my own, on my phone.
I understand you're typing it, but your testimony is that you and your friends or people are having a discussion about self-defense as it relates...
That's not my testimony.
I'm asking if that's what you were doing.
No.
You and your friends having a discussion about self-defense as it relates to Mr. Rudolph's conduct.
No. I didn't think it was self-defense at all from day one.
Then why were you looking it up?
I wanted to know, is it a crime for me to look at my phone to
Jones.
be knowledgeable?
No, don't ask questions, answer them.
Okay, I was trying to be knowledgeable. That's the answer.
Because it was relevant.
It wasn't relevant.
You just look up stuff that has no relevance or that you're not interested about?
I look up stuff that I'm not knowledgeable about. That's what I look up about.
Okay.
All right, there's not going to be any more argument back and forth. Ask the question, and you answer the question.
Okay.
And then on April 13th of 2021, you searched up pro bono. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
And then the same day you looked up pro bono lawyer. You remember that?
Yes.
What does pro bono lawyer mean?
That was for something completely different. A pro bono lawyer takes you and they take your case
For free.
for free. Yeah. It had nothing to do with, no, I wasn't looking for a lawyer. This is something completely separate that you don't even know about. So that's not relevant to the case right now.
Happened to be in the same days where you're looking up defense attorney, Mark Shiner net worth, and then you're looking for a free lawyer. You've testified repeatedly that Keyshawn did not have his gun that night, right?
Yes.
And you've testified repeatedly that Travis was the one that had the gun, and he's the one that shot Sebastian and Tyler, right?
I didn't testify that. I saw it.
All right. Well, we'll take a restroom break then for, well, wait a minute, it's almost noon. How much longer have you got?
2 minutes. Not even-
Literally 2 minutes?
Less than 2 minutes.
Okay, go.
Until I'm done to go home?
Well, after redirect if there is any. But we'll take a restroom break after Cross is finished.
Okay.
Go ahead, Ms. Burlett.
You looked up self-defense because after speaking with everybody, you believed that somebody was acting in self-defense, right?
Last time on that one.
Weren't you?
No.
Then why did you look up self-defense?
Because I have an iPhone and I can look up anything I want to.
You were asked some questions about web searches, and you said you did some of the searching in case if I need to turn myself in. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do remember saying that.
And what did you mean by that?
I was unaware, unknowledgeable about this entire situation, so I did some research. That's the bottom line of it. Could we please move on from this question?
Because you believed you had some culpability that you had.
If I believe I had some culpability, I would have came in with a lawyer, a paid one, not a pro bono one, and I would have made sure that I would have never spoke to any law enforcement if I thought anything was going to happen to me. Did I do that? No, I completely, from day one, agreed, turned my phone in. Anything that was asked of me, I did. So no, you have it incorrect, and that's the last time I'm speaking on that.
So you turned your phone in over a week later after you deleted items from it,
No, when they told me to turn my phone in, my phone was turned in,
and items were deleted from it, right?
and they retrieved them, is what I heard.
And you were concerned still, though.
Who wouldn't be concerned? This is not a normal situation. Of course I'm going to be concerned.
That's why you said, I needed to do this research to see if I had to turn myself in.
I research everything. I research any little thing I research.
I have no.
I'm a knowledgeable child. I'm sorry if you felt like this was inappropriate to research.
Now, you were asked a lot about web searches and why you chose to make those searches. Mm-hmm. Do you recall that?
I'm 23.
No. I'm not getting into your reason at this point. Do you recall being asked those questions?
Yes.
And is that the kind of person that you are? You're always on your phone Googling something?
I'm just very informative. I like to know what's going on. Just like my brother, I'm extremely intelligent. I like to know what's going on. I like to be aware of my surroundings. I like to play chess, not checkers. So I definitely Googled whatever I Googled because I wanted to just be aware of what was going on. I've never been in a situation like this before.
Right, you're intelligent, just like your brother who decided to pull up on Travis to quote unquote discuss your emotional BS at midnight and caused the whole scene and got somebody killed.
Are you lying to this jury about anything that you said?
Sustained.
I'm not.
Have you?
Jury, disregard that last statement, please. Next question.
Ms. Jones, did you send your brother Keyshawn Jones over to Mr.
Rudolph.
Rudolph's residence to kill him or shoot him?
Absolutely not. And it sounds absurd and it sounds crazy for anyone to ever think that.
No, you sound crazy for not realizing how clear it is that that's exactly what you wanted to set up. I mean, it's blatantly obvious.
Ms. Jones, you were asked about whether or not you felt guilty about this situation. And
Yes.
You answered yes.
Yes.
Can you explain to the members of the jury what you meant?
Of course. 100%. So basically, I'm the type of person I'm just going to say right now, I don't really wear my emotions on my sleeve, but Keyshawn. Okay.
Overruled. Go ahead. Finish your answer, please.
I'm the type of person who doesn't wear my emotions on my sleeve. So
And fake
I might
tears
come off
incoming?
kind of cold, or I might come off like the situation hasn't affected me, but it has.
And 3,
Even on Travis's
2,
behalf,
1.
because I do love him.
Is there an objection? What's the objection?
And they're gone.
In retrospect, should you have just called the police instead of asking your brother to talk?
Definitely.
Nothing further.
All right.
Thank you so much. We are done. Finally, we got through the whole testimony. Really, this was just the day 2 of the latest testimony, but that's all I'm going to expose you guys to. If you want to go find more, go find it. This is the most I can really handle from this chick, Dominique Jones. I never want to see her in my library again. I never want to see her in the courtroom again. Please make sure you hit the like, the subscribe, and the notification bell. Check out these 2 videos. Hopefully you learned something, and we will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.